Hey, welcome to my apartment. It's the Guinegard DJ Self. My guy Malcolm is in the building. Now, Malcolm, you see this lady here. This is my neighbor, right? And my neighbor, she's always like running into my apartment uninvited. Borrow stuff, don't give it back. Only one time she gave something back. Her name is Bianca. She did. She bought some toilet paper and gave it back.
I ain't never heard you talk this loud.
I know.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy. You know, so
I'm a little shocked.
Yeah, you know, I mean, listen, when it's showtime, it's showtime. Hello.
Yeah, no, you really know for real. New York is different. They say that.
So it was a point in time where he was teaching me about West Coast. He's on the West Coast, and I was telling about like East Coast. And a lot of times I feel like East and West are different. They differ a lot in different things. I remember when I first met him, I don't know, maybe he was in Queens or something like that, and I was like, yo, you better be careful. Nigga, I'm from the West Coast, nigga. And you know what? All of my friends that's from like either like East LA or something, or Compton or something, they always act like that's where I'm from. I don't care. Like, is that how West Coast people are brought up?
Well, it's the same in New York, except like when you said East LA and Compton, the first thing I thought was, I'm not from Compton.
Okay,
and I'm not from East LA, but it's
no,
but
I'm talking about my friends from East LA and Compton. That's why I said,
so
okay,
you have
got
Mexican
you.
friends, got it. No, but the idea is that like it's like New York, how they got a borough. You're from that borough, you really rep your borough more.
Yes,
than you do.
okay.
Like, yeah, so I'm from LA, but I'm not from Compton.
What part of LA you from?
I'm from Baldwin Village, like Crenshaw District, like
okay.
jungles.
So you had to add that in, right? Yeah. The reason why I say that, most of my friends that's from LA and they're from other places. I mean, they go other places. I apologize. They go other places. They got that you know, like you gotta like stand firm mentality. You understand?
Yeah,
and out here, I think only really Brooklyn kind of does that.
Brooklyn is like that.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, Brooklyn, Yonkers, and Bronx is like that. That's who I get along with. They all kind of move kind of like.
To me, I apologize, Brooklyn, but Bronx is starting to be the new Brooklyn. I'll be honest with you.
That's crazy.
I'll be honest with you,
that's
man.
Bronx
crazy.
will always be the Bronx.
This is new Brooklyn right now.
That's
okay?
crazy.
Just keeping it
No,
real.
You wouldn't say that there was a bunch of Bronx in here. I know that. They'd be like, hey, yo, what?
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Excuse you.
So Malcolm,
like,
now, notably now, you know, people know you from television.
Yes, sir.
From Raising Kanan. How has that been?
It's all right. It's smooth. Like, it's weird. People, it's a new. How do you put it? It's a new transition.
Okay.
As a person, because you know, like, before people didn't really notice me. They noticed my work, and now they notice me, and that's a strange sensation. Because I'm not really, as you said, being from where I'm from, I'm not used to having a bunch of people. Take notice of me. The whole point is don't look at me. Like you, and New York has that as well, right? Which is like, don't look at me. I don't want to talk to you. We all got business to attend to. Let's do that. And so now it's a transition because people now they want to talk to you. They want to be up under you, and they so nice, you know. But sometimes you don't know what's going on, so it's like you react very like tense. So that's the newest thing for me is like being cool with people just running up on me like regular, like that shit weird.
How did that even come about?
I think just the show being popular probably.
So meaning because I've had actors here, right? And I know you do music. I'm gonna get to the music 100%.
Right.
But I know actors come here and I know there are people that's aspiring actors.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they just don't know. Like people hit me, yo, could you hook me up? I don't.
Oh, you mean how to get into acting? How did I get into acting?
Or how did you even come about getting into Raising Kanan? I swear to God, I take a picture with 50. Everybody, yo, give me an audition. I'm like, my nigga, that's not what I do.
That's because you used to be on TV.
I'm easier to get you a song with him than get on the tip. You know.
Yeah, no,
so how did all that come about? Like the process of doing that.
Well, this was normal. It was like you audition. I auditioned. I didn't have to audition much. That was the blessing. Is that like for the first time in my career, I only auditioned one time. Okay. It was in front of everybody. Like this was the setup. How you had to set up with all the cameras and shit, and then you have like 3-4 people here. Those are the producers, the writers, and the creators. Usually, you have to go through like audition with the casting director, audition with whoever. Like
so more than one audition.
Yeah, usually you gotta do like 3 to 5 if it's a big reel. If it's a big deal, you could end up doing 3 to 5. Like if it's a big deal, yeah. Like Snowfall,
I wouldn't even known. I thought it was just one shot and we like you, we don't.
I auditioned like 5 times and then like ended
So
up getting another role.
got that. You was in Snowfall also.
Yeah, I was in Snowfall also. So like
They killed you off quickly though. Man, they did you dirty.
That's crazy. No, actually, I don't know if it was quickly because for me, I was a part of that show for 2 years before it ever came out. So I was a part of that process. Even when John and Eric Amadio had first created it, and it used to be a Showtime.
Yes.
And they moved it over to FX. FX bought it. And so I was there from that moment. So it took a long time. We shot a whole nother pilot before that one came out.
Oh,
I was cast as a whole nother 2 characters before that came out.
Wow.
So for me, my process with that, like I have a very long, intimate relationship with the Snowfall property. And so that's why the Raising Kanan situation was so unique because I only auditioned once and I had the role. I auditioned one time.
So do you think it's from being on Snowfall?
Nah, I think it was just I came in and I existed and embodied as the character.
Okay.
And I think that Sasha was a little bit more, he's a little bit more tapped into the culture than the other showrunner on the other show. Because the people think that John was the showrunner of Snowfall, and he wasn't. The showrunner of Snowfall was somebody who worked at FX, who's, he's fairly competent, but he's not from the culture. You know what I'm saying? Sasha is someone who seems to be pretty, even though he is white, he's one of those people who respects that he's here as an observer and respects that he's here as a collaborator. So he was able to integrate and understand what I think I brought to the table naturally, more so than maybe someone who was just visiting for the first time.
How, is that hard for you playing an East Coast guy being from the West Coast?
Well, everything's difficult, but no, I think it's easier than playing a West Coast person because even though I'm from LA, there's an idea of what y'all think LA is. There's an accent that you think we all have. There's a stance.
No, y'all do have. Yeah, get out the core. Get the fuck out of the core, nigga.
The funny part is,
say that.
Over here.
Come over here.
But the
get
funny
the fuck
part,
out of the core, nigga. West side on mine, bitch.
But it's like a weird.
You know what I'm saying?
You can play West Coast nigga. No, but the funny part is that's actually kind of like not true. Like that LA is bigger than some countries.
Okay.
Like small countries. Like its GDP is bigger than some nations. So it's kind of how New York is. Like there's so many different accents and people, in different types. And that's like when somebody says, oh, you from New York? And then they just give a standard New York accent. But it could be, we all know that Brooklyn has a different tone.
Nah, we all got the same. Yo, son.
No, that's
Everybody
different.
say son.
I will say,
hey, son.
I will say this.
Fuck is you talking about?
In my opinion, I feel like Harlem niggas talk up here and they talk really fast. You know what I'm saying? Okay, And then I feel like Brooklyn niggas is a little more like this,
That's
right?
true.
And I feel like Queens niggas have they speak a lot like the Italian niggas that they grew up around.
Okay.
And then they have and it's different.
Okay.
It's really, really different because it depends on who was in the territory at the time. So LA is that big and more and varying. So like the accent that you hear is one that was propagated by South Central Los Angeles because of the movies that John did. And it propagated this idea of what LA was. But it's really a very small section of LA that sounds like that.
Okay.
And so when
you say niggas will be like, yo, get the fuck out of the core.
Some do, no, niggas say core and like all that. But if I'm being honest, like we know how to speak. It's just that's our native way of speaking.
Understand.
But but everybody from LA don't sound like that because some people from the Valley, which is LA County, not LA City. Some people are from Compton. Some people are from Long Beach. And we kind of sound alike. But when you get into like Glendale, ain't nobody from Glendale gonna sound like that. Nobody from Pasadena gonna sound like that. Nobody from like different Marina Del Rey or Playa Vista, some shit. Them people ain't gonna sound like that. But LA, like the heart of culture, and this is something that I think Glass Malone says a lot that I respect, is that the street culture has always dictated the rest of culture, whether we want to admit to it or not. How we move, how we say, because it's very distinct, and it's usually been people who are immigrants or people who have a very specific culture that's communal. So it becomes a very distinct way of living and a distinct way of moving and sounding. So when you pick up on those things for roles, it becomes very specific. I'm from LA. It's harder for me to be something that to portray something authentically that I know is not as that's not as broad as people think it is. Okay. But when you acting from somewhere else, I can literally go find me a nigga from Brooklyn, sit up under him, analyze him, and notice things that he may not even notice about him damn self. Because when you speak like you speak, you don't find nothing significant about it. You're like, this is how we talk. Yes. That's a harder thing to do as an actor to be yourself because you're like, oh shit, like I don't know what makes me unique or special or move because I just feel like I'm me. But if I listen to self, I can mimic you like crazy because there's certain things that you do. Okay. You know what I mean? Like that I'm like, that stands out to me. And we don't see, you spend your whole life never seeing yourself. You got to use a mirror. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I
that's
see
why
myself all the time. What you go to people?
You dumb as fuck. Man. You silly.
Anyway,
So it's harder. It's actually harder to play LA than it is to play a New Yorker. Interestingly enough.
before being on screen, you were a writer too.
Yeah, and yeah, currently still am. Yeah.
And current. So actually, there
Down
was
with the strike.
I hear
Down
that.
with it. We
Yeah,
on.
so what's going on with the strike stuff?
We with
Because
it.
I was sitting with 51, right, and he was telling me about some show. I think it was Raising Kanan, and he was like, "Well, it's still going because we got all the scripts in before the writer's strike."
Yeah.
He was like, "Bada bum bum."
Yeah, but we've been on.
So
We've been on. Yeah.
okay, so what is the writer's strike? Like, I'm confused with that.
It's very simple. People have
Please.
been making and I'll get back to your question, but it's simple as this: people who got money, who have been getting money, which is the companies, the institutions, the firms, they have made leaps and bounds in their profits, in their profit margins, and the people who work in labor, which are the writers, the direct, whoever else makes the product, their pay has not gone up but incrementally, like maybe this much, not to keep up with inflation, cost of living, so it's being stretched. So what the dollar was for them back in the day, how they were being compensated, is no longer the same equivalency. And these companies have gotten bigger, so there's a problem there. And then they're finding new creative ways to cheat people out of money with these mini rooms, which don't require the same amount of time and the same amount of people, but they get the same amount of work. So and they're shortening pilots and shit like that. They're doing a bunch of bullshit. And so the homies is like, we ain't going for it. And now they like, well, fuck y'all. And then they're like, all right, we'll see how it go. So that's what's happening.
I'm still confused. I need to be more dumbed down. So when I say that,
All right. So if I'm the drug, if I'm the house.
No. Listen, when I say writer strike. So in order to be a writer, I'm just asking, you have to be like a part of something. No,
It's a union.
a union. So now let's say I decided I wanted to write something, but I can't just go and say
You can't go on nobody block selling drugs, bro.
I can't. Okay, cool. That's what
You can't go on nobody. You
understood.
can't go on nobody block selling drugs unless you tap in with whomever, and they gotta put you on. Because if you do that, they're gonna X you out. Period. So that's what unions are. Unions are.
Okay.
In order for us to set a price and set a standard on this block, we have to have everybody in unison to set the price.
Understood.
If you come in here underselling, overselling, doing what you want to do, we gonna get you up out of here. That's what. Or
Okay.
so you gonna get down or lay down. Most people lay down because it also does help us keep everybody
Benefit
good.
them. Okay, got you.
So you
All
on the
right.
block, and now you join the local enterprise that's on the block.
Got you.
That's what's going on.
All right. Now you can go to. I'm sorry.
First of all, you need to stop interrupting people because you do that a lot,
well,
and I'm tired.
let me say this real
I'm
quick.
tired.
She doesn't-
wasn't even
she'll
invited
gonna
into
go on
my
strike.
house.
We gonna go on
not-
strike
Yeah, right.
against you.
Listen.
Yeah, go on strike then. Hello.
Anyway,
I'm with you. I'm in solidarity with you.
thank you. I appreciate that.
you're right.
Anyway, so there was rumors, that you were doing some writing for the New Jack City reboot.
I wrote
a
it.
few years. So you did.
Yeah, I wrote it. New Jack City too. I did that,
Okay.
but that don't mean they gonna make it.
I feel like
Wait,
you
so
know.
this not the one that's on the play. Like
No,
they
I wrote
got
a
Tretch
movie.
and-
No, I
oh,
wrote
the
a
movie.
I wrote a sequel. And people kept calling it a remake, and then everybody online was mad, and I was like, that's not what it is. It
Okay.
was like, and then Charlamagne got on there talking about this is stupid, and Ducky Dad. I was like, nigga, that's not even what it is, bro. Like, what is you talking about? Like, but I never got to tell him that. But yes, it was a sequel.
You tell him now. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure he
cool.
see this. Tell him.
He know what's up.
Okay.
I went on there talking crazy already, like 2 years ago. But yeah,
Okay.
I wrote it a long time ago. But that don't mean they gonna make it. I hope they do, and I hope they vamp it and make it to their budgetary confinement so that it can happen. Because I think it was a pretty cool idea, pretty great.
Did you
you're
see the
shopping it?
original?
Yeah, of course.
Again, yo, can we
it's
get a
crazy.
countdown? How many
This
times?
is crazy. You got to start paying money every time you interrupt.
I'm gonna
Like a
jar.
Coach
Well,
Jar.
this is my crib, so you
I
know what I'm
don't
saying.
care.
So I got first dibs anyway. But okay, I'm sorry. Talk to you.
Y'all funny, man.
I'm
Don't let
gonna
him
close
do
the
you
door.
like this.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna get him back. Don't worry about that. So are you're shopping it? It's a sequel.
No, it's
so-
not a shop. It's not a. So the way the writing works is there's two types of jobs. You can write on spec, which is for yourself, and that means it's speculative, right? So you create something in hopes that somebody will buy it. And then there's assignment, right? Which means a studio or a production house pays you to write something that they own, or to create something that they own, or develop an IP that they have. So they own the IP to New Jack City, and they was like, we want to make a sequel.
Why you got your hand in there? You got
Yeah, man. Don't worry about all that.
I just
Don't worry
noticed
about all that.
Number seven.
Don't worry.
Interruption number 7. Let's keep it
she's
going.
not from around these parts, so
Man,
she just moved
hey,
around
hey,
here.
look,
when a
I'm-
guy got his hand in there, you got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
He's
Like
fine. He's not gonna ruin his life. Like
you never know. you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people.
Don't nobody wanna
I'll
stick
put it
you
like
up.
this. Is it illegal to carry a firearm in New York still?
Absolutely.
Well, then I ain't got one.
Okay, as you shouldn't. Hello.
So continue.
I lost my train of thought.
That's
Like,
good.
You asked
Don't
me if I
worry
was
about
shopping it around, and the answer is basically no, because they own it. So what they do is I have to wait for them to make it or decide to make it. And other writers can come on, other directors can come on, whatever the situation can be. So I just, shit gets written, like they pay me money to write shit and never come out.
gotcha.
So
I
we'll
hope
see.
it gets picked up.
I think that's like a LA thing, man. I need to go to LA and just write some
That's not how
stuff.
that works. That's not how that works,
I'm from
bruh.
Brooklyn, man. I go there, man. I know I can turn it up, man. I
People
promise
from
you.
Brooklyn, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm
That's
from
right.
Brooklyn.
As
Like,
if that gives him a visa to everything in life. Gee, that's because Hov is y'all nigga. That's why y'all think that.
But the reason why is this, like, I think that here we don't aspire to make movies and different things in New York. It's more musically inclined. And I think
That's
in
interesting.
on the West Coast, I think it's more, you do music, but then doing music, you still implement some type of movie or something like that. Like even if I
say
look
so.
I look at YG, right? YG is a great friend of mine, and I was around in the I don't want to say the beginning part of this was
Pre-Def
after
Jam.
Tooted and Booted.
So-
So
Def Jam.
post Tooted and Booted.
Just
Def
signed
Jam.
to Def Jam. Just
Def
signed to
Jam.
Def
Def
Jam,
Jam YG.
Yeah.
Right. And
Which was historical. He's one of the only 2 artists signed to Def Jam from the West Coast for a long time.
Wow.
During that time period, it had been a long time before Def Jam had signed West Coast artists. It was him and K-Dot,
wow.
which is like, it was a really big deal for that to happen.
Wow. But YG's a good friend, right? Good friend of mine. And, everything was about music. Then he drops an album. Next thing, he puts out like a little movie, the movie
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
and
my
I'm
god-
like,
my godbrother
I said, yo,
directed
that's genius. But
Yeah.
us in New York, we don't think about putting out no type of movie or
I
nothing
actually
like
was
that.
supposed to produce that with my godbrother, Lucky, rest in peace. He passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He's from my area as well. It was him, and it was, man, like we kind of think cinematically. But you have to also think music was so influenced by West Coast culture when John made Boys in the Hood. It it epitomized, an entire culture of hip hop. And even if you look at the Jodeci album, like, and how big Snoop was, like, we affected how everybody dressed, moved, talked for a long time. Like how y'all had it previous in the 80s, we kind of had it in the 90s. And, it's partly due to movies. It's partly due to the influence of, like, cinema,
You know what? With that, there was a Menace and Boys in the Hood. And there was There was one more joint.
It was Menace, Menace Society, Boys in the Hood, and
Yeah, it had some joints though.
yeah, it had some classic.
Do they
LA
still
joints.
flock in LA?
Well, flocking was a. I mean, look, people still rob houses, I'm sure, but it was a cultural thing at some
That's
point.
what I mean, the cultural
in 2005, 2006, 2007, it was kind
You
of
know
like
what
a thing.
flocking is?
no.
No. You
It's
want to
house
explain
rob,
what flocking is?
home invasion. They were cat burglars. We used
God.
they cat
We learned on
burglars.
West Coast. Hey, nigga.
I ain't gonna
I
disrespect.
gonna go for a flock, nigga.
No, but flocking was a thing for that time period. It was like, how every generation got its own preferred crime.
Like they told me
during that
DC
time.
now they carjacking all
Yeah,
day.
and then
You know
y'all
what I'm
had
saying?
the cards for a second. Y'all had the pieces for a second. Niggas
Yes,
were
we
sitting
did.
pieces.
Oh.
Yeah. You stupid.
The
Why-
pieces,
Those-
baby.
I'm a square. I don't know nothing about none of that. But that handshake was
neither
not a
does he.
confirmation of nothing.
Neither does he. He was around the screen window as a kid.
Right. Yeah, everybody has their little crime that they was in at some point in time. That
Yo,
was
Pieces was big in New York.
yeah. Pieces was hitting for a second.
Pieces is definitely hidden.
Young
So
for that.
I remember Bianca. Me and him had a conversation. I have a seafood spot in Queens.
Hell yeah.
And it's called Seacoast.
Fire.
And me and him had a nice conversation. And he told me he does music, and it kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't know that he did music. And we were playing his a song that he was about to put out. And I don't know if you remember, I gave you my advice.
Yeah,
Now,
you did.
my advice, I'm not gonna say it's law,
No, but it was.
but it's through my experience. And I asked him when he was gonna drop it, and then he told me at the season finale of I think it was Raising Kanan or
Raising
something.
Kanan at the time.
And the mistake that I felt, and it's just my opinion, that I felt that some people that's on television do is they base their musical career on their television career.
Correct.
And I think that, my opinion, I think that they should never be adjacent. I think that you put your music out when you want to put it out. Don't do it toward the television show. And I don't know if you remember that advice.
No, I remember it.
Okay,
I remember
and now you could say fuck up self. I don't,
No,
whatever.
I think your instinct is correct. I think it depends on where you at as an artist, right? So like when you're trying to develop as an artist, you develop as an artist and you want people to feel you as an artist. So there's something to there's a different fan base for most people depending on the kind of genre of music you make versus what you may play on television.
Got you.
Such as if I'm a doctor on a CBS show, you feel me, and then I want to go make Italian whatever or some techno music, like, you know, I probably shouldn't drop it around the same time that the show comes out, just because people are going to be looking at me because of the show, because that demographic of the show may not consume that demographic of music.
Got you.
And and also, you as a music person, there's always a natural aversion to people who do music and TV for hip hop people, which is ironic because the best people to ever do music and television have came from R&B and hip hop. So I understood where you were coming from. For me, it was just simply that, and I still kind of believe this to a degree, but I think that there's a merger between your idea and mine, is that like, because my show is with the demographic of people that would consume my music, I think there's more of a cross-pollination than normal. And I think that to ignore that would be to ignore what 50's done. But I think that at the time, the music I had made, you were correct about. Because the type of songs I was doing was like, not necessarily the demographic of people that was doing. Probably was more like sing-songy type shit at the time. So I think you were actually correct in that moment. But now with this new music,
West Coast nigga talking about the East Coast nigga.
Yeah.
Interruption number 9.
No. But now I think the music that's coming out is actually perfectly correlated with the type of music that will be consumed by the people who watch the show. But funny enough, the show not gonna be out when I drop the music. So you're gonna get what you wanted either way.
Yeah, see, my reason being is, a lot of times I feel like when you put I'd rather put my music out before the big bang of anything else.
Gotcha.
Because it's already there, the motion was running, I don't have to catch up. You know, people are catching up to me, I don't have to catch up. You know, when I say catch up, meaning, you know, something is wrong with the artwork, something is wrong with the mix, something, you know, like to me, any little thing. And to me, I think that with music, the best word I could say is music is discovery. And when I say discovery, meaning, you know, if you had it out, maybe, you know, if it's 10 episodes and you put it out at episode 7, you know, the bulk of the people will start listening to it by episode 10 because of the commercial of the television show that you're doing. But those little fans that, I'm not even gonna use little, the first fans that listen to it always say, I've been new, I put you on, and they're the ones that's gonna shop because everyone wants to say that they discovered it first. You know, and that's how I live life. Like, you know, discovery, you know, so that was my what you call it. But let's talk about the music that you got out now. You got singles, you got everything.
Well, the single's out now. That's Sticks and Stones. You can go listen to that, watch the video. But the next thing that's coming out is the entire EP and the big song, like the Focus record, the actual single, right?
That's gonna come out when the beginning of Raising Kanan.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, see, I listen to you.
I'm fucking with you.
That's why you're gonna get the record. I'm gonna play the record today.
What made you listen to him this time?
This time, I think, well, honestly, I think it just happened naturally that way.
Okay.
Because the only reason, like, I'm gonna be real, the only reason, like, now I have like a bit of I think that even though I'm building a platform, the next single it has a pretty big feature on it. And it's a pretty dope song, and I think the EP is pretty dope in itself, and it's all dropping at once. So I feel like it's gonna get a little traction, and it would have been nice to run that while the show's out, because then when I gotta go run around, it's an independent release. I'm coming out of my pocket. It's me and Venice. We collaborating, and so I could have went and got my money back for my investment in the music, running around to these clubs and shows, and I could have upcharged because I'm on the show and I got a record that's working out. That would have been like the perfect marriage for me to like kind of just get my investment back so I can break even. But I still have so much confidence in the record and in the music that I don't really care if the show was out or not. It's like that. The song is like that.
Well, that's a very important word, confidence. You know, confidence in music.
Which you have an abundance of, clearly.
I love. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what you talking about,
That's the
nigga.
plate.
New York, nigga.
New York, Brooklyn, nigga. Yeah.
Brooklyn, nigga. Fuck
Jesus
what you talking
Christ,
about.
Anyway, what made you want to like start putting out music?
I always was like a writer. Like I got nominated for a Grammy writing for people and shit. So I've always been a creative. I love building, but I never really wanted to be my own artist at some point until recently when I felt like I could. So, you know, it's my personal story. So I just wanted to like share that with people because I feel like that's part of my purpose is like if you come from a similar situation or if you don't, it's like a human condition thing that I'm able to relate to that I want other people to relate to. So I really just feel like it's sharing shit with the world. So if there's someone like me, they feel like there's hope, you know, to do something, because that's what music did for me. And you know, when you sleeping on the floor and life ain't that great. You know, that music and movies provide an escape and provide hope and a blueprint and a fantasy for you to exist in that can get you through your day-to-day and or you can relate to on a real level that helps you get through your day-to-day. Like, I'm not the only one going through this.
Right.
Because that's what music was for me, and I wanted to be able to contribute that. So
you've written songs for people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, I've done a bunch of shit, bro. It's like,
I want to know.
It's a bunch. It's online. You go see.
I gotta go look for you.
I don't necessarily like all them niggas no more, so I don't necessarily want their money to get up. Fuck them niggas.
Okay, never mind. That's valid.
They know I done said it to their face. I'm just saying, like, right now, I'm not gonna help their money yet. But one of the people I like that I wrote with was Tristan McWilds. And
That's my guy.
Okay.
He's a good dude.
He's from Staten Island.
That's a good person. He's a project baby. I love him.
I seen him walking down the street one day. What the fuck are you walking down? He said he was filming something. I can't remember. Like, I was just randomly like in Times Square, like 1 a.m. I was like, what the fuck is you doing walking down the street? What the fuck? He's like, I gotta do some show in the morning, something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
He's a creative.
That's my guy though. That's my guy, Staten Island.
Yeah, so that's why I made music.
So even with him, right? Do you think, because he does television and music, right? Do you think that people will take your music seriously? Because some people may say, man, he's an actor, man, or I like him better as an actor. Do you think that it'll confuse the two, or people will take you seriously?
Well, hey, let's get down to the real, right? Like, that man fed his family off music. That man got a Grammy nomination off his first album.
You talking about
Tristan?
Okay.
So, like, whether people, who gives a fuck? Like,
the reason why I'm saying that, right?
I'm not being defensive. I'm just saying, answering your question.
I remember in the beginning, right? And maybe say if I'm wrong. In the beginning, when Jamie Foxx started, being an artist, he was like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Well, he was 2 albums in.
And it was like, man, whatever, nigga, be funny, hurry up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was 2 albums. First of all, he had like 1 or 2 albums before, but he also did sign a deal, and he was very talented. But the issue is this:
so about Tristan or Jamie?
Jamie. Tristan was his first album. He got nominated for a Grammy. He was running the city, talking about fucking owning the city, like he's tripping. So like. But the difference is what I think, and even with Tristan's music, whom I love with the bottom of my heart, and he's actually massively talented. He can really actually sing. The thing is, when people see you as a certain thing, when they watch the show and they see a certain character, if that doesn't line up with whatever it is else that you are selling, it don't make sense to them.
Gotcha.
And this is where I think we all should learn to take a book out of like the marketing playbook of 50 Cent, right? 50 didn't come out making love ballads. 50 came out talking about, I'm robbing everybody, right? He's like, I look like this. Everybody in the streets know my story. I got shot 9 times fucking with Preem and them niggas. I stood on my ground. And this record don't look like it's about to sell. And it's my first album. And I'm feeling like shit ain't going. I don't feel like I got no heat. Fuck it. How to rob. Now suddenly I got heat. Then I get shot. And then I get my album dropped. But then I can make 3 mixtapes. And now I got motion. And then Eminem called. And I'm like, oh, this work. All right, let me bully one of these niggas out here that's in my lane. Okay, that works. Like, all of that fits with the narrative of this nigga from Queens who was a fucking tyrant. Like, right? Who was just antagonistic on all levels. And then, right when you got comfortable with what he was doing, right, he hit you in the club. Like, it's like he went from Wangster to in the club. And and it made sense. Like, oh, he's selling drugs in the club. And it's not nobody's birthday, but it sounds like it's somebody's birthday. And this nigga that's a tyrant might be at somebody's birthday selling drugs. And then suddenly he's like, oh, wait, he's upside down with abs. Oh, girls are starting to fuck with him, right? So he like, I got you, 21 questions. You know what I'm saying? So like, and he's in jail talking to a girl making a love song, which would make sense for a nigga who from the streets, who sold drugs at the party, who done beat up on everybody in the streets, got one girl he liked. Like, the story tracks, and that's what I was getting in, is that if the story don't track, people don't fuck with it. It doesn't matter if it's true. You could be the hardest, toughest nigga on the planet. If the people don't believe you, it don't move. Just like there are niggas that we have met, music, where they present this tough guy narrative because they built this story. And you meet him and you like, this don't make no sense in real life. Don't matter. The records sound like DMX. He got a DMX voice. Ja Rule had a DMX Tupac voice. Don't matter if he was the toughest nigga in Queens. Doesn't mean he wasn't. It just means if it don't feel like it, if it don't translate, the music ain't gonna work. So for me, if you're an actor and you trying to do some shit, I got lucky. If Tristan was on the wire and he had bars and his voice was a little raspy after he smoked Snoop, you mean to tell me if he had a song about him being in the projects, which he was from, you know what I'm saying, and having his homeboys die and he was rapping about what he was really, you nigga, that shit would have sold something.
Outta here.
Because the story tracks. And I say for me, I got very, I guess both lucky and not lucky. Unlucky is that like I'm in like, you know, this death machine, right? They selling drugs, they selling, you know, the culture. But my show is kind of explaining why it's like that and how it's like that and how it developed. Even with Snowfall, it was like, this is how crack was brought to the hood. I have these things where it's not just gratuitous violence, it's street oriented. There's a little socio-political commentary to a degree. It's entertaining. People like me. I look handsome on the show because everybody puts their work on my face. You know what I mean? So women is like, okay, what do you got to say? Niggas is like, okay, he played that character good enough to where I believe him. So it just so happens that the stories I'm telling with my music.
You smashed the Spanish chick on there too.
Excuse you.
So it just so happens.
He did on the show. He did.
But what does that have to do with anything?
That's something that me and a couple of people
Interruption
noticed.
number 10 for no reason.
The people noticed that.
Okay, but what does that have to
smash
anyway?
Okay.
It just so happens that makes it easier for people to listen when I tell them about my personal street stories. Because that's exactly what Street Journal Volume 1, which comes out June 23rd, is about. It's about my past experiences and what I've observed in the streets coming up before I became successful or whatever, and how that affected me mentally. And so I believe people will be more easy to receive it because they like, we already see you kind of in that light. You know what I'm saying? I think it would have been a little bit harder if I was on the Disney Channel. Or like in Tristan's case, if I was on 90210. You know what I mean? Like maybe you wouldn't want to hear me talk about, you know, trauma and like guns and drugs and women, and you may not want to hear that from your favorite Miley Cyrus character. You know what I mean? You know, you may not want to hear that. Leon Thomas had to take 10 years away from doing what he was doing on television and make an amazing R&B song and write for Ariana Grande and Drake before we was all like, this nigga's hard. He's been the same talented motherfucker for years.
Forever.
You know what I mean? I don't know if Coco Jones gets an ICU platinum plaque if she's not the pretty black girl on the black show that all the black people watch who like R&B. Like,
I didn't know she was on the show. She's on the show.
and that is exactly what I'm saying.
I didn't
Marketing
know she
is
was on the
brilliant.
show. How you don't know she's on the show?
Marketing is brilliant.
Anyway, it's always he's a narcissist. It's always everyone else's fault but his.
Yeah, but you cheat.
Anyway.
But that's how it's supposed to go. You know,
Anyway.
that's brilliant marketing because like, and hopefully there will be people sitting on a couch somewhere talking about me one day like, wait, he's on Raising Kanan?
Right.
That'll be great marketing. That if the team does it well.
But I think that's dope because I'm a journalist. So it's like you as a writer, you're always telling someone else's story but your own, right?
Correct.
So now with your music, you get to tell your story and people get to know you in that
Correct.
respect.
Correct.
I think that's really dope.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like that's kind of how my filmmaking go too. Like I want to get back to telling my stories and things that are important to me. So that's what the music is.
West Coast story, nigga.
And maybe
Hey,
you
nigga,
know
I'm from Crenshaw District, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
you sound
Aight,
more
nigga.
West Coast than I do, so.
Well, let
Aight,
me
nigga
tell
from
you
Crenshaw.
why. Because he's a traitor. Okay? Because he thinks Ice Cube is a better artist than Nas. So he's a traitor.
To a degree, that argument at one point could have been made. Because at some point that could have been made because of how effective
Keep talking.
Cube was.
Could have.
And Cube
Keep
also
talking.
came to New York
Keep talking.
and got in his bag. So, you know, he's more of a socially conscious rapper than most
She
people
talking to
give
West
him.
Coast
Wait,
guy.
your interruption number 12. Let him finish. But
He didn't say no but.
when
He
it
didn't
comes
say
to-
no
it's
but.
coming. It's coming.
He didn't say but.
It's
You're talking
coming.
to a West
It's
Coast
coming.
person.
Stop interrupting him.
Talking to West Coast.
Excuse you.
When it comes to the East Coast, like music, you know, like I think Chuck D and them niggas like really influenced Cube and them. You know, they Cube because Cube was like an observer. He was a hood reporter. He was like one of the first real hood reporters. Schoolie D and them, like even Ice T, like.
I'm glad you know your hip hop history.
Yeah, I
These
do
people
this for
that
real.
you talk about, she has no clue who you're
No,
talking about.
it's called loyalty. It's
has
called
no
loyalty.
clue.
I'm not
Yeah,
taking
no,
away
whatever
from
all
Ice
these
Cube.
niggas,
I'm not
Schoolie
taking
D,
away
Chuck
from
D,
Ice Cube.
all the Ds.
I am
Because she
loyal.
do it-
I'm from New
And I
York
respect
City.
that.
I'm rocking
and
with Nas.
I
That's
do respect
it.
that. I just had this conversation with Renee. Renee was like, yo, what's up with these you niggas like it? Like, look, I like Kobe too, but nigga, this is fucking New York. Like, he's like, I fuck with LeBron too. I ain't gonna be no fucking Cavs fan. I'm like,
Exactly.
And I love that about New York people. And you know, West
Except
Coast.
for him.
West Coast people, unlike New York, West Coast people like whatever the fuck they like. Because we're
Gotcha.
not the mecca of creation of something. We're just glad that it's here, right? Like, New York, though, is like, nigga, this shit started here. We in here. We from here. We gonna die here. We don't like nowhere else. We like our dirty streets. We like our fucking bitches. We like our drinks and choices.
She's not dirty. Though.
Yes, they is. Yes, they is. Yes, they is.
They are,
Yes,
they are,
is,
they
nigga.
are.
I
It
ain't
is
never
what it
seen a
is.
rat that big. You got me fucked up.
Yes, they is.
They for sure dirty. Like, Like, and look, and it's funny because then there's people from other states who come to LA, like, and be like, LA's dirty. And I'm like, what? Like,
I do see a lot of dirt. Like, but I've been like downtown in Hollywood. That shit is dirt bomb.
Downtown's a
you
little-
talking about 2 streets in a lot. And what did I tell you? LA is huge.
Understood?
You picked the 2 dirtiest streets, the 2 dirtiest places out of the largest landmass.
That's the same thing with New York. Like, you picked the
Y'all don't have
Now we got a lot more.
Y'all don't even have a Beverly Hills, my nigga. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Whoa,
Yes,
whoa,
we
whoa.
do.
No, you don't.
Well, Malcolm, we
Greenwich
we
Village is
rockin',
not
but-
clean. Greenwich Village is still
not
dirty.
That's
Nah.
not Beverly Hills, though.
Then what's y'all Beverly Hills?
Long Island.
That's not even fucking
No,
New York.
it's not.
That
No,
is.
it's not. Speak for yourself.
That's not
It
New
is
York City.
not.
That's not New York City. That's Long Island City. That's LIC. I seen it on the fucking boat.
It's Nassau
It say
County.
LIC.
It's Nassau County.
Stop that shit.
Sorry, Esther.
Yeah,
It's
stop
Nassau
it.
County.
When every time somebody tells me, I say, oh yeah, I'm from New York. Where? Long Island. No, you not, nigga.
That
That's
is
like
New
saying
York.
you're from Inland Empire. You from LA? No, you're from Inland Empire. Well, I was like, oh, were you from LA? No, I'm from the Valley.
Tell
You're
them
not from
the
LA.
guys that they're not from New York. They from New York.
No,
It's just-
Buffalo's New York.
yeah,
Literally.
literally. Long Island is New York, too.
What's our Beverly Hills?
Buffalo's Buffalo, really. Buffalo get down.
What would be our Beverly Hills?
I'm telling you, it's Greenwich Village. Not Greenwich
Is it
Village.
Yonkers?
It's the Upper West Side. The Upper
we
West
have
Side.
like that. We have
the Upper West Side.
Windmere.
But that's more like
Jamaica
that's more like
Estates.
Westwood and like there's Bel Air, like because we have a bunch of rich places. We got Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Westwood, Wynwood. We got a bunch of shit, right? Of like wealth pockets. But when we're talking about a world famous place of excess wealth, it's probably the Upper
Park
West Side.
Avenue.
Park Avenue, Upper West, whatever that shit is. That don't look nothing. Beverly Hills way cleaner. Beverly Hills way
All right, we
cleaner,
gotta let
bro.
him get this.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
come
got
on,
it.
bro.
You got it. You
Y'all,
got it.
y'all rich people live next to y'all homeless people. They on top of each other.
That is true. That is true.
it's
Unless you
quite
go to
fucking-
Jersey.
Stop agreeing with him,
I'm
bro.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm loyal, but I'm not a liar.
Yeah, and you know, I spent a lot of time in Jersey, and I like Jersey kind of, to
Okay.
a degree. Not all of Jersey, but I like parts of Jersey, and it's a little newer, a little bit.
It's cleaner.
It's a little cleaner. That's why. That's why I
where
like it.
I'm at-
North
I'm there
North
now.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No,
North
we're not
Jersey.
talking about we're not talking about basically Philly.
North Jersey,
No, we are
North
not.
Jersey, North Jersey. Because a lot of times, there's a big difference with Jersey, with South, Central, and North.
Yeah.
So,
But you're gonna get me in trouble with every people because they all.
so
One thing about East Coast, they gonna get mad about whatever part of land they on.
Nah. But the role you play in Raising Kid, they gonna like it. They be like, yeah, he
That I know
doing
a
a good
little
job.
bit.
Yeah. Balance out. We Gucci. We Gucci.
No, I fuck with everybody though. I fuck with the people in all of the places in New York. I fuck with, but I fuck with all the people who come from like Yonkers and Bronx and like.
Ow.
I like
He
Brooklyn.
don't fuck with you. He fuck with me.
That's crazy. That's you were gonna get him back, huh?
Yeah, she was.
No, but I
No.
I fuck with New Yorkers. I do fuck with New Yorkers. I may not like the landmass. I may not like the buildings and the smog and all that shit and the disrespect. Y'all just be bumping into each other. I don't like none of that shit.
Well, it depends. No, if you're bumping into each other like that, they're not real New Yorkers, because real New Yorkers don't bump into each other because that can cause problems.
See, that's crazy because when I first got off of the train, when I first came to New York, when I was like, well, maybe second time I came to New York, when I was like 15, 16 years old, and I got off the train, and it was just a rush of people on, I think it was like a Broadway type situation, and it was bumping in.
Well, you was in tourist land.
No, it was a bunch of people though.
But you said Broadway.
Well, look, this is what happened. It was like outside. It was outside Madison Square Garden.
That's tourist
Oh, yeah.
land, man.
All right. Yeah.
But I just came off the train.
Oh, but that's tourist land, though.
So I'm
you
getting-
can't judge New York. Listen, anybody that's not from New York, you
Okay.
cannot judge New York from the middle of Manhattan.
Okay. Well, because I was getting bumped, and a lady who was clearly a New Yorker, a short Jewish lady, was like, because I was getting mad. Every time I got bumped, I was like, nigga, what's up? Nigga, what's up? Nigga, what's up? And then the lady was like, sweetie, they don't mean no harm. They just walking. Like, it's okay.
I don't know.
And she was she just let me know that, like, look, nobody, it's not like somebody's trying to disrespect you. They're trying to get where they're going.
Well, it depends. Midtown is like that. You can't take it personal. But
Yeah.
you can take it personal if you're like in Harlem, the
Okay.
Bronx, Brooklyn.
Okay, cool.
We don't bump people there
In,
'cause that
in,
causes
the, in,
problems.
in the
So it
places,
depends.
man. That's
right.
tourist land where you
Okay.
at.
Right.
Okay.
That's shit super tourist. And,
Y'all really
and when I say
loud, too,
tourist
like,
land, our
collectively.
tourist is not
See?
domestic. Our tourist is international.
He doesn't represent
He's so
us,
loud,
though.
he doesn't even hear other people talking.
Well, that's
That's
because
right.
you say you
It's
hard of
very New
hearing
York.
in one ear,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. In one ear, I'm
That's the
because of the
excuse he
DJing?
uses.
Yeah.
Well, New York niggas is loud, though.
We are
Collectively,
loud.
as a
and
land.
we clap. Yo, word to my mother. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be the loudest in the room.
And for me, that's very triggering. Like PTSD.
Yo, this nigga so loud for what the fuck?
Yeah. Essentially, this is why I don't go out a lot. Because, like, even y'all love is really loud and aggressive. It's like, hey, yo, son, I love this Smith. This nigga right It's my man. This nigga right here, it's my man. Yeah, even Tristan, like, who's like the calmest, chillest nigga, he's like, SI, Forgotten Island, is like, hey, yeah, I love you, man. I love you. I'm like, hey, nigga, okay. Like, you know, in LA, we not really like touchy feely. Like, y'all are really a loving people, you know, like really loud, very aggressive and be showing love,
We
you
love
know.
hard.
Yeah, love really hard.
love hard.
But then, like, you know, it's also confusing because y'all don't actually, like, y'all not really trying to fight nobody. You're just expressing yourself regularly.
Aggressively.
Aggressively. And I'm just like, what is this energy, man?
What's happening?
Right. The girl be like, suck my dick. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I would suck you the fuck out. She's like, no, I like you. What? Shut the fuck up. What? Shut the fuck up. What the?
Yeah.
Y'all just
shut
go
the
around
fuck up.
disrespecting people.
You stupid.
Yeah, like, what? And I'm like,
You stupid means you're really funny.
that's crazy. And I'm sitting here like, damn, this girl wants to hurt. I'm gonna have to defend myself today and get up in a case because she wants to smoke. And then the whole time she's like, I love him. He's so cute.
Do you go through that when you date women? Like, do you date New York
I do
women?
not date, but I have dealt with
You don't date.
New York
you don't date.
women.
Oh, you have
I
a
don't
boo?
date, bro.
You have a boo?
No, it's not that. I just don't. I mean, I do, but like that's not what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like
He don't want us
What
asking
do
no
you
more
mean?
questions about
no, I'm
that.
about to be very clear with you. I'm like, yo, I don't date because I don't believe in spending money on people that are not already in the game. Like if you in the game, if you are my boo,
Yeah.
money will be spent on you. Very simple. But if you are not, then
But wait, so how, you
The
don't go out
pockets?
on dates, like a first date? Like you don't do that?
I do dates with the women who are already my girl.
So wait, so a girl has to be your girl
Yes.
before you
Well,
take
how
her
do
on
you
a
get to be
date?
your girl?
Yeah, like how do you even
I'm
get to
confused.
that
You gotta
point?
confuse
How do
the West Coast
two
shit.
people? Well, I think that you guys are backwards. I think it's very weird that you would go sit and present the best fake version of yourself and spend a bunch of money trying to attain
You don't
pussy
spend a
from
bunch
someone.
of money. It could be a
Okay.
regular dinner. Like,
You don't know how much a lot of money is to somebody. You said dinner, right? Some people, they got real responsibilities out here. And
Okay,
it's tough.
okay, that's
So
valid.
That's
to
why I
me,
take them to the club. But go ahead.
this is crazy. That's wild. That's a wild response. Like,
Do you expect anything less from her?
no,
Because
no,
I don't.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Seems pretty normal.
So, you know.
Hello.
But for me, it's not. It doesn't like it could be mountain or beach or something where two people can be regular and you can get to know somebody. Because the worst thing you can do is get money spent on you by a nigga you don't want,
Right, and
Right,
then you
'cause then
stuck there. So that's more like a meet and greet, though.
whatever it is. I don't care what we call it. It's like let's learn to engage with each other so that if I spend money or if you spend time or if I spend time and you spend money, we not sitting here going, I can't believe I did that dumbass shit.
Yeah,
I just want everybody. I'm talking about fair practice. I want everybody to be okay with their exchange. I want us to be able to link and you be like, I don't like this nigga, but I ain't take no L's except a little bit of time. I can take it. Right. I can separate. Or, man, this is really dope. I would have hung out with him whether or not he was blowing a bag or not. Both are dope. But everybody else is so used to like this fake idea of what courtship is because we hold on to traditional ideals while not being traditional people. Like courtship and dating was I show up at your house, your daddy house where you still live at age 20 plus, right? With the understanding that your virtue is still intact and that I have to have you in home before 9 p.m. and I have to pay. That's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. That's really what it's supposed to be, right? But that's not the case. Now, we done all been fucking and sucking since we was 12. Mm-hmm. Everybody outside. Hey, let's just see if we agree as humans. Let's just see if we cool before I go blow this money. This is stupid, you know?
Yo, you a creep, God. That's creep squad, God.
That's creep? Huh?
Yeah, God, you like, yo, I'm not gonna blow no money on you.
That's creepy?
That is
Yo,
creepy.
wild. It's wild that you don't want to pay for pussy? That's crazy.
I didn't say that. Don't.
That's
hold
crazy.
On. Hold on. Let me. Don't
I'm wild? Because I want to get
Listen
to know
again.
her? That's
no,
crazy.
that's not what I'm saying to you.
Wait, how long
I'm
does it take
not
you
the
to get
type
to
to
know?
pay for the coochie either.
That's
God.
creepy.
Listen, even though sometimes transaction is the best action.
That's creepy. That's creepy.
Let me tell you why, because you don't get the headache. You understand what I'm saying? The headache. You
Are you talking about
you know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Sometimes transaction is the
What's
best
happening
action.
here? Wait.
Let me keep
all
it
of
real.
all of this is diet prostitution.
This is not
Right?
kosher. This is not kosher
Right.
talk.
Right.
No, not for this show.
But let me say this.
Not for this show.
But you still have to, like when you first meet somebody, so you're the type that you say, yo, we going Dutch or something like that? Like, I'm confused.
Well, yeah, what's the process? Tell us the process.
If I ask my homie to go with me somewhere, I won't expect him to pay, male or female, right?
Okay.
Right. So if you my homie, I don't feel shit about paying for you. But if you're a stranger, why the fuck would I be spending any money on you? I don't know you.
So you make them your friends first.
Yes. What the fuck
I
are
know-
we
I know
talking
that
about?
game. I know
You gotta
that
be the
game.
homie first.
I
I
know
gotta
that
know what you
game.
own. I gotta see who you dating, what you own. Because you know what happens when two people want to like each other? They lie, they manipulate, they try to show their best version of themselves. But if you just like chilling with her, and
So
you
you
like,
have patience.
yes.
Interesting.
What we
So
talking
you
about?
walk down the hill. Now I run down the hill, knock them all down, baby. Figure it out later.
And now you done blew a bag on her. Y'all done went on 2 trips and found out she plays with she dating the nigga from the Knicks.
With Harden or something. One of them niggas, right?
Oh, paying for an apartment in my building. And now I'm smashing her in my building. You done paid for an apartment. I'm smashing her in your apartment. This is crazy. And then nigga mad at me, and now I got to be LA again. And that's why I don't play that shit. Cause
I see that same hat Malcolm had on. Why is this?
Right.
What the fuck is this doing in
Because
there?
if I had just hung out with her and her friends and just chilled and went to her apartment, I would notice that there's some big ass motherfucking shoes in the goddamn closet.
Well, that can go
Before
the
I
other,
smash.
but that can go the other way around.
So she
too.
need to come hang out and
Okay?
see. Because if you hanging out and you notice this nigga never calls you after 12 o'clock at night,
Exactly.
then you know he got a female.
Exactly. Which is usually the case.
But guess what happens when he paid for the date and he seemed like he was so traditional. He pulled up. He took you to Spago or fucking Ciccone, whatever the fuck, and he just spent the money.
Whatever the fuck. You know, that's the West Coast right
And you
there.
like the nigga, he's charming, he's funny, and you're like, oh my God, girl, I like him so much. You just sent him a thank you text at 12 a.m. He don't get back to you till 12 o'clock the afternoon the next day.
Nah, you're right about
and
that
then now
one.
you 3 months in really liking this nigga and you find out he living with his ex-wife or he's still married or whatever the fuck going on because y'all niggas just want to do this dumb shit. Fuck that. I'm kicking it with you. I'm gonna find out who you are. And once I find out who you are, you can get this bag.
It goes both ways.
Correct.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And I don't know how 3 months, I give you 48 hours.
That's crazy.
You go
48
2
hours?
nights without hitting me? Okay, bye.
Damn, you serious.
I'm
You for
dead
real,
serious.
for
I don't
real.
got time to waste.
That's crazy. I feel you though.
I pick up them red
I ain't
flags
mad at
quick.
you. I ain't mad at
Because
you.
I feel like most men out here are not single. I feel like
No, we all have single.
I get
We all have
approached
single.
more by men in relationships than single men.
We all have single.
Yeah.
Because the math. There's just more of y'all. Like, it's just what it is. No, I'm just
The
serious. I'm
typical
serious.
cliche.
No, it's math? Like, yes, math is like science is science. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying that it's okay for men to do that. I'm just saying that, like, what do you expect? Like, if there's 2 women to every man, yeah, more of the dudes you talk to will probably have a woman that they have dealt with or are dealing with or in some form of relationship. That's kind of how it goes. Not that you should accept it. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't do that. They should
I
accept
just
that.
wouldn't be surprised.
Don't you
Women
dare.
should accept that.
Stop.
Just like I'm not surprised when a woman has multiple men trying to date her. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
She has a vagina, and vagina has been fought wars over. Probably makes sense there's multiple men trying to date her. I'm not going to sit here and be like, can't believe you're talking to these other niggas. That's stupid. I'm going to be like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's your motion. I don't want to be messy or in your situation. So when you clear that up, we can fuck with each other. Or
Smooth guy right here.
Very
man.
smooth.
Yeah,
Very,
smooth.
very smooth.
I'll just be me, and that
Well, me
nigga
and you
will
can
become.
hang out, kid. So while you
We have.
while
You
you
can
in the
help him
friend while you in the friend zone,
Yeah, chilling.
I let you know now. Yo, listen, I killed last night.
Correct.
So,
Because you don't know till you take her
waste your
to
time.
until you take her to Self's party. Hey, look, because when she's my friend and we go to a Self party and I find out that Self and his friends have participated, I'm not hurt.
That's a fact.
Participated. I gotta use those
That's
as
a
a
new
good
lingo.
word. Yeah, for
I'm
not hurt. My friend-
Participated.
Write that down.
My friend happens to know my other friends. But if it's my girl that I've been talking about and stuff like bring her out, and I bring her out, and the homies is like, and I'm like, well now you done I find out my friends have participated with my girlfriend, and it ain't the same energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now
absolutely.
I'm a Drake song.
I get it. I
You
get,
feel what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that.
Drake
A
song.
Drake song.
Participated. I gotta start getting like keywords and stuff. And
We're gonna
put it
get a
somewhere.
dry
Yeah,
erase
like,
board.
yeah, participated.
Participated.
That's
That's good.
I need that. I gotta keep
use
that
that one
word.
too.
Yeah, 'cause
Participated.
you don't wanna
Yeah,
judge
you
nobody.
participated. Okay.
I ask homies all the time. So have y'all partook?
Participated.
Have you partaken?
Have you partook in activity?
Partook.
You know?
That's a good word.
It's facts. It's
Tell the
facts.
name of the album. The EP. I apologize.
Street
EP.
Journal. Yeah, the EP. Street Journal Volume 1. June 23rd. The first single coming out. Well, the first single's already out. Sticks and Stones. And then the second one coming out on Friday with the whole album, with the videos, big ass feature on it, and the song slaps. So, yeah, we
Song slaps, kid.
It do.
I got a slapper.
it slaps. I ain't gonna lie, it's a dope song, man. I'm gonna play it for you before we get out of here.
Please do.
Yeah. You gotta put this shit in there.
Malcolm's in my kitchen. We here. Hey, yo, gotta put it in there. Hey, you can't say that stuff in the yeah. Hey, yeah. So what? It's So I know you're on the road a lot, right? Welcome to my kitchen, first off.
Thank you.
Oh, he was doing, God.
Smoking.
Oh, snack. Oh, okay.
Pause.
So, yeah, Paul, that's definitely a Paul. Hey, you, right? You know what I'm saying? I gotta get my shit like that. My shit like it ain't there. It ain't there. So, what is your go-to food when you're on the road? Is it like is it fast food, McDonald's or different things?
Previous to caring about my body, or
Well, let's go previous to caring about
previous to
your
my
life.
body? Oh shit, easy. Hot Cheetos, you know, a little Arizona. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Some bullshit. Some bullshit.
Okay.
Arizona.
So now, what is like the ideal meal for you?
Oh, like when I'm on the road, if I gotta go
On the road,
on the
because
road.
you know when you at home, I think everybody they pretty much got they.
Yeah, nah. When I'm on the road, I get some coconut water. You know,
Mm-hmm.
coconut water, something like revitalizing, something fresh, some ginger.
I
something.
never tried coconut water. Everybody like coconut water for.
It's refreshing. That's what I do now. Now I'd rather be refreshed than heavy. But I used to be like, nigga, Takis, anything hot. Takis, hot Cheetos.
And then when it come out, ooh, right? well, listen, here's what we gonna try, right? You like this rap snacks, little baby.
I ain't never had it. This is the first time ever.
So this is all in hot flavor: salt, vinegar, barbecue, onion, garlic, cayenne pepper.
That sounds terrible.
Right? So we'll try this.
All right, so shout out to the little homie, little baby. He says hard work pays off. You know that sound like the single right there.
It does, right?
Let's see. I ain't never had this shit, so we gonna see. Okay. If this shit's trash, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you gotta tell the truth. You gotta eat more than one too. It's good.
Kind of smack. It's not bad.
It kind of smack. That's the word. That's the lingo.
What?
It kind of smack.
Kind of slap, yeah.
Oh, slap. Oh, slap. I just said kind of smack.
It does smack. It does all that.
You eat two more.
I'm about to eat 5. This shit.
Okay, yeah, good.
Can I take this?
Yeah, that's yours.
Y'all got no
That's
juice in
yours.
there?
Huh?
Y'all got no. Oh, there you go.
Oh, you need some water?
This shit low key. This shit. It's not bad. It's not like actually spicy, but you want to wash it down a little bit.
Hold on with the water for a second. Keep eating it.
Why?
Just keep eating it.
Oh. It's not actually hot.
Oh, it's not hot?
No, you thought you was doing something. No, not at all. I'm people from Louisiana. Stop it.
Tell them about your album again.
Why you coughing like that?
Because it got me. I was about to say, sir, I am coughing
COVID is
because I'm
over.
laughing a lot.
Yeah, the album, Street
The
Journals.
EP.
The EP. The EP. Street Journals Volume 1, June 23rd, Friday. Pre-order now or go buy it on Friday.
How do they search it up?
It's everywhere.
Well, how do they search it up? Is it your government name
Instagram.
Malcolm or?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I ain't faking shit. That's my name, Malcolm Mays. That's the Malcolm Mays, Street Journals Volume 1. Available everywhere. Pre-order now or go get it on June 23rd. Hey, yo, wham! Wham! Wham, wham, wham. Bitch, up, little baby. That's your hard. I'm gonna fuck these up.
He coughing it.